But I think the day that President Ruto leaves office, Kenyans will be having honest conversations, because he is really a president who is concerned with balanced development across this country. He believes that every corner of Kenya needs to be reached and touched in terms of development. And this is why when we asked to host Madaraka Day, in a sense we were punching above our weight. But he was like, we'll do it. And the conversations I've had with him, even some of his people didn't believe we're going to do it. And they kept going back to him, telling him, oh, you know, the road is impassable, stretches of the roads are sandy roads, there's no bed capacity. And he told them, you'll do it. And those who don't want to go, you stay. But it must be done. And it's going to be done. And it will have proved to Kenya that we can have national holidays celebrated in Turkana, in Wajir, and in every other corner. And this also has a psychological effect on the people from here. That indeed, the historical legacy issues, the question of the agony of the Kenyan Somali, the agony of belonging, right? That you're not fully embraced, yet you're part of the country, is changing, and changing rapidly.
Okay. And certainly the devolved system of governance, if we were to have a conversation about how this has entrenched good governance across the country, as the Council of Governors chairperson, what then should be the scorecard? How has it impacted the lives of Kenyans across the board?
Devolution has been a game changer in more ways than one, as I said. And it is okay for the two levels of government to at times criticize each other. And it's also created an unrealistic expectation, right? That places that were pretty marginalized and that had nothing should transform and look as good, right, as the counties that have done probably well for many, many years as a result of a lot more investments in those counties. I think devolution has been the biggest antidote to sessional paper number 10 of 1965. Because sessional paper number 10 of 1965 created two Kenyas. The Kenya of the high potential and the Kenya of the less or no potential, which were the arid and semi-arids. And potential was regarded to be in places that receive higher rainfall and have crop agriculture, and especially export crops. But with devolution, there is balancing out of the provision of services across the whole country. We now have nurses and ECD teachers and doctors in places that didn't have before devolution. We have now a reasonable workforce in terms of our public service. I inherited about 500, I think 600 people, mostly the local authority staff and a few in the healthcare sector. Then in departments like water, agriculture, there's skeleton staff. Today we have over 5,000 people in our payroll offering services. Of course, the demographics are also changing, the population is growing. But what devolution has done in terms of accelerating development, if we had to go the previous system, we'll probably attain that in another 50 years. Yeah. So it has really, in summary, accelerated development. Yeah.
Governor, many thanks for your time, and appreciated for according us the time to talk to you about tomorrow's event on Monday that will be happening in your county. And we thank you. Pleasure to have you here on set.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all Kenyans for Madaraka Day 2026 at Wajir Stadium. I thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for watching this interview from Wajir County with Governor Ahmed Abdullahi ahead of tomorrow, Monday, 63rd Madaraka Day, that will be presided over by President William Ruto from Wajir Stadium. The first to ever happen here in Wajir County, ever to happen in the former northeastern province, one that is expected to draw the presence of national government and the county government officials, state and non-state actors, all who will be present tomorrow as the people anticipate the day that is on the horizon tomorrow, one that will usher in a chapter of history for the people of Wajir County.
UDA ina ushawishi.
Unasema mtu yote atakayesimama na UDA atanguka?
Bila shaka. Ya hiyo ndio kweli.
Ndivyo anavyotulia. Mtu yote anayesimama na UDA Mlima Kenya anaanguka.
Itakuwa ngumu. Maybe wajua ya Mungu huja. Wajua na mimi si Mungu. Si ndio? Ya Mungu huja.
Lakini ni ngumu.
Ni ngumu sana. Ngumu sana.
Kwani wapiga kura waangalie utendakazi, wanaangalia vyama vya kisiasa?
Kwa mfano,
don't you think that is a challenge?
Na yeye governor ametajwa miongoni mwa governor wanachapa kazi, na hata mpaka kaunti yake watu wanaenda benchmarking.
Well, sawa, lakini kiangazia unajua msukumo wa kisiasa ukiingia. Ukiingia hiyo msukumo, huwa uanga ni msukumo mkubwa sana.
Inakuja kama tsunami.
Inakuja kama political tsunami.
Alright.
Basi nikianguka hata awe rafiki yangu atanisaidia na nini?
So how is your relation?
Kazi atakuwa na kuuliza.
Unachaguliwa kuwa balozi.
Atasema wewe ulikuwa unaitwa Kangata.
Kwa hivyo unasema tangu utoe lile tangazo, uhusiano wako mheshimiwa,
atakuwa anakupigia simu. Ati wewe ulikuwa unaitwa nani?
Wewe ulikuwa
wewe ni yule wa kuandika babarua.
Tangu
UDA ina ushawishi.
Unasema mtu yote atakayesimama na UDA atanguka?
Bila shaka kwetu. Kweli. Ya hiyo ndio kweli.
Ndivyo anavyotulia. Mtu yote anayesimama na UDA Mlima Kenya anaanguka.
Itakuwa ngumu. Maybe wajua ya Mungu huja. Wajua na mimi si Mungu. Si ndio? Ya Mungu huja.
Lakini ni ngumu.
Ni ngumu sana. Ngumu sana.
Kwani wapiga kura waangalie utendakazi, wanaangalia vyama vya kisiasa?
Kwa mfano,
don't you think that is a challenge?
Na yeye governor ametajwa miongoni mwa governor wanachapa kazi, na hata mpaka kaunti yake watu wanaenda benchmarking.
Well, sawa, lakini kiangazia unajua msukumo wa kisiasa ukiingia. Ukiingia hiyo msukumo, huwa uanga ni msukumo mkubwa.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live. Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live. Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live. Tunaelekea vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live.
Well, greetings to you. Thank you so much for choosing to be part of our conversation tonight as we look at our political development and what we are required to do in order to be the right side of history. Well, we are waking up to Madaraka Day. This should be the 63rd Madaraka Day, if I'm not wrong. And the country is torn between working from the past historical injustices and perpetuating the same. We are faced with the neo-colonial realities that are disadvantaging the natives, as there seems to be a preference for the foreigners. I would love to hear what your opinion is on what is prevailing at the moment. And then, of course, it's important that we all come out clean and tell each other the truth. I want to salute all of you that are joining us from wherever you are. Please let us know from where you are following us from. And, of course, if you are able to get us or not. Let's have an interaction here as we want to look at the current state of affairs, especially this court case about the establishment of an institution that would quarantine, to be precise, to handle the Ebola cases that are in DRC, Congo, and this proposed quarantine is to be established in the Laikipia Air Base, and they will attend to the American citizens that are exposed to Ebola from Congo. And so the debate is on why would a problem that is yet to get into the country, Kenya, be brought to Kenya. And this is in the backdrop of, I believe should be, if I'm not wrong, the Secretary of State of the US that is forthright in expressing himself by posing the claim that Ebola victims or people exposed to Ebola, regardless of their citizen status, they will not be allowed on the United States soil. So why the double standards? And if they cannot be allowed on the American soil to protect the Americans from being or contracting Ebola, then does it mean that Kenyans are less human, or don't they also have a right to protect their soil and protect their space from Ebola? this is smelling bad. It's smelling bad, and I think we just need to come to terms that despite the passing of time and, of course, the so-called civilization, our being subhuman or less human as I would say developing countries is no longer a hidden secret. It's out there in the open. And to sum it up, that rumors has it that it is a deal between the president and the United States. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. And so I really would want that we all as a people come to terms that some of the people we put in leadership have no regard for our well-being. And I mean, to them, it is the same business as usual. And cutting deals. It's the difference between leaders and dealers. When we have dealers in the place of leadership, I believe this is what we are treated to. This is what we're exposed to. And in my opinion, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I remember during Moi's time when there were sanctions and demands by IMF, World Bank, and all that. Mzee Moi used to say that Kenya is a sovereign state. And he said that as a man, whether your house is made of grass or iron sheets, you are still the man in that home, and therefore whatever goes on in that home must pass through you. Why are we selling ourselves cheap, and why would we even come to that a decision in the first place? When did it become so easy to expose Kenyans to danger without thinking twice? What happened to consultations? What happened to a serious consideration of what is at stake? How can an individual or a few people decide on a matter that can affect the livelihood of the Kenyan people? And so this goes out there, I think, as a lesson, one, and then a warning that when it comes to deciding who leads us, we better think twice, because putting dealers in the place of leadership, I really would want us to appreciate the fact that we are not safe with bad leadership, and we shouldn't compromise when it comes to the quality of the people we place in leadership. Our lives depend on that. Our future depends on that. Our progress as a people depends on that. So this political leadership in our country needs not to be left to the name of numbers, that somebody has a numbers or somebody has a following. Is he able to protect us from danger? Because the number one responsibility for the head of state and the head of government is the safety of the Kenyan people. Now, if he's able to sign a deal that will expose Kenyans to danger, even without consulting them, or without in any way involving them, then it goes without saying that we are solved, we are done as a people. And this doesn't look good. And so let's wake up from our slumber and begin to interrogate what's happening. And then, of course, take lessons. Take lessons. Take lessons in the sense that we have a general election in less than whatever, in 1 year's time. Or are you going to put back in office the same people that are willing to sell you at no price? Will you be at peace going to vote into office an administration that want to do anything to please the visitors or the foreigners at your own expense? Will you be okay doing that? Is that wise? I mean, is that a wise move for you to do that? And so I want to call us to think, because at times when it comes to political decisions, we tend to, brush off serious, deep thinking on those decisions. Like what I'm seeing trending now on social media about this matter of the Laikipia quarantine set up to take care of people exposed to Ebola who are Americans. You can see we are united to some degree, but not completely united on the same. And then, of course, we have the undertones of those that are pro-government, that they are torn between standing by the same government that want to expose them to Ebola, as well as rejecting what the opposition or those people with divergent opinion are saying. And so because they are torn between the two, they would want to sit on the fence. And I think this is not a matter for anyone to sit on the fence. Whether, leave alone Ebola, okay? No matter what, anything that places the lives of Kenyans at risk should be rejected by all means. And some of you that can remember very well, there was a fierce debate during, I think, Mwai Kibaki's administration on the legalization of GMO products in the country. And it couldn't sail through parliament. It was postponed over and over. There was fierce exchange on it, and all of it was pegged on one thing. The Kenyan lives should be protected. So what happened? What has changed? How come this time nobody's talking about the welfare of the Kenyan people? Everybody's talking about what we may benefit from this. The same Trump administration is the one that scrapped off the US aid that was helpful to some livelihoods, some NGOs that were running some, preventive programs like whatever HIV and other matters. All those NGOs are suffering right now because the funding was cut off. So one hand is cutting off and the other hand is pretending to be with you and wanting to help you by exposing to Ebola. I don't think that's admissible. So no matter what deal is there, to me, let that deal be thrown out of the window. We cannot put the livelihood of Kenyans at risk in the name that will make some kill here and there. There is more to life than making the money. And of course, the number one priority for any serious and responsible government is to protect its people. If that is not being done, then there's no need of us having that or whatever administration in place. We don't need it. And that's why I also appreciate what some TikToker is talking about. The Linda Mwananchi whatever faction, or rather Linda Mwananchi group, that is agitating for better Kenya, change in Kenya. I think they should have enough numbers, if not to succeed in impeaching the current president. Let them make an attempt. An attempt is as good as impeaching. At least we have that opportunity. Let there be, there was an attempt, even if it doesn't succeed. Because this allowing somebody who is dealing with the livelihood of Kenyans and for monetary consideration, and it just gets off the hook like that, we are making an imperial president again. We are slipping back into that place that the president said, and that is final. We went, I mean, there was years of fighting to just get rid of that. This issue of orders from above, it was the daily happenings in the 80s and in the 90s, and it took a lot, years of struggle to get rid of that. And then we are quietly allowing it back by accommodating this kind of excesses. What happened to the soldiers that went to Haiti? What happened before they went to Haiti? There was a fierce fight by this administration. Even when it was ruled that it was against the law, they changed the law to accommodate that because it has to happen. And when you look at it, what was Kenya profiting from the same? What did we gain by going to Haiti? Were we paid? And if we were paid, what bill has been offset from the shoulders of Kenyans because our soldiers went to Haiti and did 1, 2, 3? Is it now that Kenyans can have quality free primary education, quality free health care because they got money from America by donating their soldiers to go and fight in Haiti? So I think we need to get more practical on the same and just stop the madness of trying to understand things, or rather, put up with things that should not be allowed in the first place. I want at this point in time to listen to this whatever story done by Larry Madowo, who is talking about the situation of this Ebola stuff and the Americans' insistence that the establishment of their quarantine in Kenya is within the treaties that were signed before. Then thereafter we come to talk about those treaties and whether those treaties should be considered or not. In my opinion, they shouldn't. Let's hear this out first, then get back.
The first Americans who will man this Ebola containment facility arrived Saturday. The HHS has previously told CNN that they're sending a specialized team from the Public Health Service Commission Corps. We're talking physicians, nurses, lab technologists, mental health practitioners, and engineers to care for the Americans that will be exposed to Ebola and sent to this facility in Kenya. A high court here in Kenya put an injunction against it temporarily until this case plays out in court. The reasoning is that this could endanger public health. And the other question from Kenyans is, why is this specifically for Americans and not other citizens? The health minister addressed this in an interview.
There's no way where it is said we are bringing Ebola patients to Laikipia. That facility is a military facility. Kenyans defense forces will use that facility. Other Kenyans will use that facility. And by the way, let me say this. I don't know why people are so much about the US. If there's one country that has contributed between 25 to 35% of the health budget since independence.
That is 60 years of U.S. support for Kenya's healthcare. In fact, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, after a call with President Ruto, announced that the U.S. was giving Kenya $13.5 million for Ebola preparedness efforts. But many in the country, including the Doctors Union, the Law Society, are challenging this. They feel that Kenya is not a geopolitical isolation ward and that Kenya should not be accepting this money in the first place. The other aspect of this, Victor, is that both the current Kenyan and American administrations have a history of violating court orders they don't like. So it's a possibility that they could go ahead with this quarantine facility even though there's a court order blocking it. But the wider question for many Kenyans is, if Ebola is too dangerous for Americans, it should be too dangerous for Kenyans. And many Kenyans have been asking me, Victor, why do Americans think that their lives are more important than the lives of Kenyans to endanger them like that?
Larry Madowo, thank you.
That the first Americans who will man this Ebola containing facility arrived Saturday. The HHS has previously told CNN that they're sending a specialized team from the Public Health Service Commission Corps.
Okay, there you have it. Why is it that the Americans should be protected from being exposed to Ebola to a level whereby bona fide American citizens will not be allowed back on their soil until the Ebola matters are dealt with? So if it is wrong and unacceptable, inadmissible for an American who has been exposed to Ebola to be allowed back to American soil, why would, in the same breath, be a suggestion that those who cannot be admitted back to the American soil can now be, go and be set up and be taken care of from Kenya? Kenya is also a different soil. This thing doesn't look good, and I don't see the logic behind it. Any person in their right mind who wants to support this, I think they need help, serious help, because there is no way why this should make sense in the first place. This is very serious. That you can, say that your number one priority is to protect the Americans from any danger. And so you cannot allow people who have been exposed to Ebola into the American soil. Then in the same breath, you're saying that there is a treaty you signed by an administration, and that treaty allows you to come and set up a quarantine in that country, which is a different country from the country where the epicenter of Ebola is. This is a joke. This is a joke. I don't care what Duale is talking about. Receiving help and support for healthcare from America is a different ball game. That's the free will or whatever agreement that is there. But exposing Kenyans to a dangerous disease like Ebola because of some paper that was signed by an administration somewhere, I think that needs to be set aside. That needs to be set aside. Let us abide by the World Health Organization, what are they called? Regulations. That if there is an epidemic or whatever infectious disease in a particular place, let it be contained in that particular place. Don't allow to spread it. So why are they giving Ebola wings to transport it to Kenya? Nobody should allow that. No Kenyan should support that. And so as we look into this, in my opinion, let Kenyans be fierce. I think I'm in agreement with the Linda Mwananchi people who are talking of if worse come to worse, let there be mass protests against this. We cannot sit back and let ourselves get into a trap that we may never be able to get out. I've said on this show over and over that the kind of confusion and the kind of uncoordinated operations that we are witnessing in the current administration since William Ruto took office, we are very lucky that the COVID-19 did not come when Ruto was president, because it would have killed all of us. It would have spread everywhere. Why? Just from the premise of how they are handling the administration. There is even opening of school that the president the minister for education should consult with the president on the date of opening of schools and things like that. This micromanaging is not helping matters. And so if this is allowed, I don't think we will be able to survive. And Kenya is a small place. Kenya is a small place. You know, we are talking about Congo, which is quite bigger than Kenya by far. And so matters of Ebola can be in one section of Congo, but the rest of Congo is safe and secure. But Kenya, we interact almost in a very short period of time. One thing can come from northern Kenya and get to the eastern Kenya and western Kenya at the same time. We have people who are working in Garissa, and because of efficient and of course proper road network, now we have air network. Somebody who come from Laikipia, he will be in Nairobi, interact with a few people, get on the SGR, he will be in Mombasa, I interact with a few people. In that same Mombasa, he can take a flight to Kisumu. So one person can spread that Ebola even without knowing within a short time. Unlike Congo, where there is forest and forest and forest and too much land. So if America indeed needed to have a facility for quarantining its people, that can only be naturally and accurately right when it is done within the country where the epidemic is, not transfer it to another country. So I don't care how you look at it, but in my opinion, any person suggesting that we should appreciate that America has helped us, has stood with us, has supported our healthcare, and therefore they are free to come and plant their thing in here and bring us or expose us to problems that were not looking for us, that should not be tolerated. And so, ladies and gentlemen, let us engage, let's talk. I would love to hear what you think. Thank you those who are joining. We are live on Facebook, we are live on YouTube as well as TikTok. Naomba tu utoe maoni yako na tukasonge mbele na mambo haya. On the same matter, let's see what Kenyans are talking about the whole thing. And I am in support. If worse come to worse, let there be rampage. Let there be serious street protest. This cannot be taken sitting down. No. We must resist it with everything we are and everything we have.
Kwenye taarifa inayofungamana na hiyo ni kwamba ndege inayokisiwa kubeba baadhi ya wahudumu wa afya pamoja na bidhaa zitakazotumika kwa kituo cha karantini dhidi ya ugonjwa wa Ebola imetoka katika uwanja wa ndege huko Laikipia. Ndege hiyo imewasili kutoka nchini Marekani, ikiashiria kutimizwa kwa mpango baina ya Marekani na Kenya kuweka kituo hicho cha kuwatibu wagonjwa kutoka nchi hiyo ambao wameambukizwa ugonjwa huo. Inasemekana kwamba ndege hiyo imekuwa ikishughulika na kusafirisha bidhaa hizo pamoja na madaktari, ikifanya shughuli katika uwanja wa Wilson, Nairobi, katika kambi ya wanajeshi ya nchi hiyo huko Laikipia. Haya yanajiri baada ya mahakama kuu kusitisha ujenzi wa kituo hicho. Kumekuwa na pingamizi kutoka kwa baadhi ya viongozi nchini na hata Wakenya ambao wanaisuta serikali na Wizara ya Afya kwa kutoweka wazi mpango huo. Inadaiwa kwamba serikali ya Marekani imetoa mabilioni ya pesa kwa serikali ya Kenya ili kufanikisha mradi huo. Kwenye taarifa inayofungamana na hiyo ni kwamba ndege inayokisiwa kubeba baadhi ya wahudumu wa afya pamoja na bidhaa zitakazotumika kwa kituo cha karantini dhidi ya ugonjwa wa Ebola imetoka katika uwanja wa ndege huko Laikipia. Ndege hiyo imewasili kutoka nchini Marekani, ikiashiria kutimizwa kwa mpango baina ya Marekani na Kenya kuweka kituo hicho cha kuwatibu wagonjwa kutoka nchi hiyo ambao wameambukizwa ugonjwa huo. Inasemekana kwamba ndege hiyo imekuwa ikishughulika na kusafirisha bidhaa hizo pamoja na madaktari, ikifanya.
Okay, there you have it. And this is now where we as Kenyans and I will talk about the William Ruto administration, we become, delight into or take pride into sidelining the law or ignoring the law. Now that the court has issued some conservatory orders to the cease of those operations, and of course, until the matter is heard and determined, why would this be going on? Or there was no communication with the relevant authorities. Those orders are supposed to be served to relevant people at at the same time. So why would there be that the plane is landing and bringing expertise who are supposed to take care of that quarantine center when it is now been put to hold? That simply means even the courts and the courts' decisions are just a kind of control the anger of Kenyans, or contain the situation, give them some cooling off window, and then continue with business as usual. And probably this is one place that I would say that the impunity of the mismanagement of the affairs of Kenyans has been perfected. I'm talking this in view of election malpractices. Have you noted that since we came up with a determining of disputes concerning presidential elections to go through the Supreme Court since 2013, have you seen the way the Supreme Court has become a conduit for rigging election? Go to the Supreme Court takes you round and round. The temperatures in the country cools down, and of course the person who lost the election is declared a winner. The one who won the election is declared a loser, and there is commotion here and there. It cools down and business continues as usual. So it appears that we have perfected that culture of impunity, and no matter what the court says, the William Ruto administration want to do what they are purposed to do, regardless of what ruling comes from the court. And this is a bad presidency that we are putting up. And if we Kenyans don't do anything about it, we may not walk out of this, pit we are digging for ourselves. We will not be able to handle, when there is no when the masses come to conclusion that there is no justice being served in our courts, and the only way for us to get justice is to take the law in our own hands. When the majority of Kenyans come to that conclusion, we will be worse off than when there is adherence to the rule of law. And so it is better for William Ruto when Kenyans still respect the courts and respect the rulings from the courts. But if he wants to show them that the courts can rule this way, but he can continue doing the way he likes, then Kenyans are also coming to appreciate that and say, now the courts are no longer serving the interest of the masses of Kenyans, and therefore they are part and parcel of the problem, they are part and parcel of the oppressor. Then let us defend ourselves. Let's use our own means to be able to keep ourselves safe and secure. And that, to me, is more dangerous to any administration anywhere than the following of the law. And so no matter how much money Trump sent, or no matter who signed the administration, I see some people campaigning or online that the deal that is, or rather the treaty that is allowing the US to demand that they can set up their quarantine of Ebola victims in Kenya was signed by Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's one of the things that really annoy me, okay? It annoys me a lot in the sense that we seem to be looking for an scapegoat on every matter. It's clear that this is unacceptable. Then you tell me it is Uhuru that did it. So if Uhuru did it, does it make it right? And this is nothing new also, because Raila Odinga used to be the best excuse, okay? Raila Odinga agreed with it. Raila Odinga supported it. Even Raila Odinga said it. And so it used to be, if Raila said it, then it must be right. Now Raila is silent, is dead and gone. And now they have switched gears. Instead of, it is even Raila said, even Raila agreed, it has now become Uhuru signed it. It is Uhuru also did it. So you cannot protest against it because it was Uhuru. Who says that? We did protest against Uhuru. We did protest. And also, there is also this ardent separation between Uhuru and Ruto. They say, oh, this was done during Uhuru's time. There was no Uhuru's time that Ruto wasn't around. And so if there is any deal, when you're talking about Eurobond, you're talking about any scandal that took place during the Uhuru. Remember, the ticket was Uhuruto. It was Uhuruto. So Ruto has not come from nowhere. Ruto has been part and parcel of government since 2013. In fact, he has been in that government. They are the first people to really, put in benefit from the new constitution, the 2010 constitution. They are the first implementers of the constitution. Of course, there are parts that were done by Kibaki as Kibaki was leaving office, but the really people that rolled out the implementation of the new constitution by being the first beneficiary, it was Uhuruto. So there is no time you will tell me about Uhuru did this and Ruto did not know. How is that possible? How is that possible? And so let's not deceive ourselves by getting into, unnecessary debates. The truth is, whoever that is in charge right now when these things are happening should be answerable to what is going on. And Kenyans cannot be, exposed to a dangerous disease like Ebola because of some piece of paper that was written somewhere or an agreement that was done between which government and which government. It is about time that all of us told each other the truth, and that is Kenya belongs to Kenyans first, not to foreigners. Kenya belongs to Kenyans first, and Kenya should be run first and foremost in securing the welfare of its people. Hizi vituko zingine zote hazijalishi. Kenya belongs to Kenyans first, then foreigners. That's what we know. And so it is with every other country. If it's America first, then there must be Kenya first. So Trump and his group must be told Kenya first when it comes to Kenya. Just like when we go to America, you tell us America first, so also our area is Kenya first. And there is no Ebola, to the best of my knowledge, in Kenya as at the moment. No reports of Ebola. So any person trying to set up a quarantine center in Kenya to take care of Ebola, people exposed to Ebola from elsewhere, is the number one enemy. Na tuwache huo mchezo. So kama Wakenya wote ambao tuko na akili timamu, unajua tuna wengine wazimu, okay? Wale ambao tuko na akili timamu, tusikubali kubebwa ujinga na eti tunaheshimu mkataba ambao uliwekwa hapa na pale. Na and then of course tukiendelea tu hiyo katika hiyo mtiririko wa mambo, okay? Masuala ya mikataba. William Ruto ameongoza katika kuvunja mkataba. So tuwezi kusema we are bound by this treaty. There's no permanent treaty. Wakati Uhuru Ruto walikuwa wanaingia kwa ofisi, Kibaki walikuwa washa sign deal ya nini? Ya SGR. Wakati Ruto na Uhuru waliingia kwa ofisi, nini walifanya? Walifutilia mbali huo mkataba ambao ulikuwa umewekwa na Kibaki, wakaweka mkataba mpya, ndio wakatengeneza hii SGR ambayo inakaa ni ya tene I mean, imepitwa na wakati. Tena zile hela ambazo zilikuwa zimekubalika na serikali ya Kibaki ambayo ilikuwa almost a quarter, wakatumia zaidi ya hiyo in the project. So sidelining and changing contracts is the part and parcel. In fact, that's the identity of the William Ruto administration. When William Ruto took office in 2022, what happened? Uhuru and Magoha and Matiang'i had signed a contract for Kenya National Examination to be printed with our usual printers in America, wherever, in Britain. And I think the deal was going to a period of 10 years or so. What happened when they got in? You remember the scandal about the exam, and the exam coming when it is not standardized. There is exam for this particular section has gone to this section. All that confusion came as a result of what? William Ruto and team walitupilia mbali ule mkataba ulikuwa umewekwa na Uhuru na Magoha na Matiang'i, wakaandikisha yao mtihani. Sasa ikachapishiwa hapa, naambiwa iliwekwa kwa warehouse hapa Intasweri. So hakuna mkataba ambao huwezi kuvunjwa kama unahatarisha maisha ya Wakenya. So mtu asinaambia tulikubaliana, kuna makubaliano, iwe ni Uhuru Kenyatta, iwe ni William Ruto, iwe ni serikali nyingine yoyote ile, kama waliweka mkataba ambayo inahatarisha maisha ya Wakenya, huo mkataba utupiliwe mbali. Wakenya walindwe kwanza. That is how it is done. And nobody should dispute that. So if America is first, America kwanza, basi Kenya pia ikuwe Kenya kwanza. Sio story na kufika mahala ambapo tunataka kulinda wageni na kuhatarisha maisha ya wenyeji. It doesn't work that way. Well, thank you everybody who is joining us. Undumani, I've sent the link on WhatsApp. Please use it. Njoo tukaseme mawili matatu kabla tufungashe. Naamini kwamba yale ambayo tunasema hapa ni ya muhimu na tunajifunza kutoka moja kwa mwingine. Na ni lazima tujitahidi katika kutekeleza wajibu wetu kama wa Kenya, na tusikubali kubebwa ujinga. Tusikubali kubebwa ujinga. Hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye ana mamlaka ya kuhatarisha maisha ya wengi ya wananchi kwa sababu analinda maslahi ya nchi yake. You cannot expose Kenyans to danger because you are protecting Americans. If Americans must be protected, then Kenyans should also be protected. Na kama Ebola iko wapi? Congo, ishughulikiwe Congo. Na Congo iko na nafasi ya kutosha. Hatuwezi kudanganywa. Congo iko na nafasi ya kutosha. Clear one forest where there are no human beings who will be exposed. Build up that your center there. There is enough space. It's not congested like Kenya. Nimewambia mtu anaweza kuwa Laikipia, breakfast, lunch anakula Nairobi, 4 o'clock tea Mombasa, na kulala talala Kisumu. Same person, same day. Why? Kenya is a small place. So I don't know what logistic they are using and whatever, what considerations they are putting in place. Let us wake up and reject what is evil. And I have no regard for anybody who supports evil, especially when your only reason for supporting is monetary consideration. That makes you look bad. That makes you look bad. And so we must not allow this no matter what. Let's reject what is putting Kenyans' lives in danger. It is time to say no. Say no, say no, say no, and insist on saying no. Let's not, coil in and be able to admit what should be rejected. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for choosing to be part of our conversation on Sound Candy Talk. Please tuendelee kulike video. Na watu wa TikTok, asanteni sana kwa kujoin. Tafadhali like video, tusaidia kushare hiyo live ili watu wa TikTok wasivute, they will pull down the show if nobody's liking the video and commenting on the video. So please do so, and you can give your views in the comment section. We will be able to read some of it as we proceed with the conversation. I'm waiting kwa watu wangu hapa waje tukazungumze masuala haya kwa kina, lakini cha muhimu hapa ni kukataa yale ambayo tunaanza kudanganywa nayo eti tunasaidiwa na Amerika. Kuna mtu anakusaidia wakati anakuletea magonjwa. Na historia ya Kenya ama Afrika nzima ni kwamba uhusiano wetu na the West umekuwa na faida zake, lakini umekuwa na madhara makubwa sana. Umekuwa na madhara makubwa sana. Na nimesema hapa nikiwakumbusha kwamba wakati wa Kibaki kulikuwa na debate kali kuhusu masuala ya GMO products, na parliament ikazungumza kwa miaka mingi. Kwa miaka mingi kulikuwa hiyo, ilianza kwa NAC government, the first administration ya Kibaki. Then in the Grand Coalition government, the debate on GMO was on, and all of it was put to hold in the interest of the welfare of the healthy of the Kenyan people. We cannot have an administration that doesn't consider us as a people. And then on the premise that kuna hela umepromisiwa ama kuna support you have been promised, that is not how things are done. So ladies and gentlemen, let us be vigilant on this to see, let's not cower in and just tukubali mambo kwa sababu tumeambiwa. Wakati umefika tufanye uamuzi ambao unaeleweka na tuzungumze lugha ambayo kama wa Kenya sisi ni uhuru wetu umaanishe kitu. Our being independent, tunasherehekea Madaraka Day. So itakuwaje Madaraka Day kama tunaletewa hospitali ama quarantine ambayo haikubaliki katika nchi nyingi. Na kwanza mtu aliniuliza kuna nchi ngapi kutoka Congo mpaka Kenya. From Congo to Kenya, there is Malawi, there is Zambia, there is Zimbabwe. Those are immediate neighbors. Okay? Tanzania. And then there's Rwanda, there's Burundi. I mean, all the countries around Congo, you couldn't get one neighbor, immediate neighbor of Congo. You have to transfer the people to Kenya. Kwa nini? Sisi tu tunapenda pesa, sio? Hii ni ngoma kali. Lazima tukatae. Well, let's listen to this young man. He has something to tell us as we continue the conversation. Thank you so much. Tafadhali like video na share and karibisha mtu. Undumani sijui uko wapi. Karibu tafadhali.
Kenyans, it's time we tell each other the truth. The Linda Mwananchi Brigade, you guys have enough numbers and the members of parliament to table the impeachment motion against William Samoei Ruto. More than enough to pass the threshold. And let me remind you one thing, Akina Sifuna and other leaders, don't worry about other members of parliament who are going to go against or oppose this motion. We are going to deal with them perpendicularly wherever they are, including my member of parliament for Isiolo South. We shall pressure each one of them. Because Kenyans mali tumefika, I saw some fools, some foolish bloggers. You think COVID-19 quarantine is Ebola quarantine? Wewe unajua Ebola ni nini ndugu yangu? If you get infected with Ebola, you have 90% chance of dying. That is it. You literally bleed from every opening of your body. I love some of you, Kenya is willing to develop. Let me be honest with you. And let me be very categorical as far as this is concerned. Why is it that Donald Trump is so selfish, is so concerned about his people, while ours is not concerned? Me hata nashuku it was William Ruto who suggested, who went and simped in Washington, D.C. over the call with Marco Rubio that this center should be brought to Kenya. This is enough grounds for the violation of the sovereignty of the people of Kenya. There was no oversight that was done. This is an issue, a threat to national security. I mean, Kenya is nothing without its people. You are bringing a disease that is going to endanger our lives, leave alone, even if you are going to contain it. It's going to be a threat to the generations to come. Hii upuzi ya kuja kutuambia hapa, global partnership, my foot. Americans, you guys have a lot of partnerships in Africa and even other areas of the world. You guys are allies to the European Union. You can do a lot. Why do you have to go to a global south country that doesn't have the capacity to contain, leave even Ebola, malaria, typhoid, pneumonia, diarrhea? You don't have the capacity even to tame and combat, communicable diseases, airborne diseases. And then you want to bring Ebola? If this is the new era of international partnerships, if this is the new era of shuttle diplomacy, then let be it. I mean, we still know the visa rejection rate of Kenyans who are going to America is 64%, 65%. All of a sudden, now we are having 100% visa acceptance for the sick American Ebola patients in Kenya. If Kenyan today angekuwa mgonjwa to be infected, he or she is infected with Ebola, the acceptance rate to be taken to America, even if it is life-threatening, is 0. Please, William Ruto, and whoever that Minister for Foreign Affairs of yours is, you really need to. I mean, I don't know. How much is enough? How much is enough? You've passed our covers. You've passed our treasury bills. Now you are on our lives. I don't know how much bad it can get. Na wale wajinga muko hapa, I will call you fools. Muko hapa munasema two-term. This is not a matter of two-term, fools. This is the matter of life and death. If Ebola comes into this country, it doesn't choose, it doesn't select whether you are two-term or whether you are not going to vote for William Ruto. I don't know, Kenyans. What is your problem? Shida yenu ni nini? I know chances of you politicizing this issue will come about. Now we've opposed. You said you're opposing this because you hate William Ruto. Are we hating William Ruto, or we are concerned about the lives of Kenyans? We have a lot of issues to deal with. Why does it feel that another country's problem should be our concern? Kenya has always been unaligned on international issues. We've done a lot of partnerships. We've done a lot of engagements, bilateral, multilateral engagements. But this is not a matter of partnership. Americans, the MAGA movement, if you feel like you can take care of your patients, then that's up to you. But do not bring this nonsense on behalf of us with William Ruto to this country with the aim of protecting your citizens while you are endangering Kenyans. That is bullshit. Now, Kenya, I'm telling you, Linda Mwananchi, if you guys are not going to prompt the impeachment motion in the National Assembly and the Senate, hakuna mambo ya kudanganyana hapa 2027. Because if you can't do this, then what can you do, even if we are going to give you the responsibilities of power? Nothing else. Okay.
Okay, there you hear Kenyan there, furious about the whole thing. And of course, raising very important questions there that each one of us needs to ventilate over. We seem to be drifting from the really purpose for us to have a leadership or whatever people occupying offices of great responsibility on the Kenyan soil. And this is a place where we now put monetary consideration above everything else. And that is the beginning of the fall in our country, when our politics went to be money determined, and now we are placing lives on the same premise that we will give money consideration when the safety of the people is on the line. That to me is unheard of. That is unforgivable. That because you are given money. No. And then Duale comes there and talks about even our military will be treated in the same facility. I thought we introduced SHA Shoshu so that everybody now can get the health care. Has SHA failed to work? You have told us SHA is working. Oh, SHA doesn't take care of military officers. It takes care of who? Mimi mtanisamehe tu, lakini serikali ya William Ruto inaudhi. Na hao masiezi wake wakiongea inaudhi kabisa. Mimi sijaona serikali kama hii ambayo imechanganyikiwa kwa kila jambo. Jambo ni obvious. Maisha wa Kenya ndio jukumu lako kubwa ukiwa kwa hiyo ofisi. Alafu hao ndio unauza tu ukiona. Alafu nakuja hapa utuambia, oh, that facility can also take care of our KDF. Who has been taking care of our KDF all along? I don't want to lose it. But one other sad story is about the fires in school. And I had Murukomen give an account of what he saw in the CCTV about the Utumishi girls fire. Let's just listen to him.
I was reviewing the CCTV footage of Utumishi Academy, and I felt very sad. I even struggled to sleep because we could see the kids who are coming to light the fire. It's very brilliant kids. Some who have got the best because that's a high school, that's a national school. But for them to just get paraffin and a matchbox and burn a dormitory, really consciously seeing their colleagues sleeping there and walk out and leave them to die, that is something, that is the most demonic thing I saw myself and I've seen. And I must say this, that as children and as students, as teenagers, because most of you are teenagers, you need to know that it is not enough to be brilliant. It is important to have the right character, to have the attitude of learning, to have the necessary skills that you need to navigate life. Don't only focus on, I must pass my exams. You must ask yourself, where is the place of character and discipline in your life? I was reviewing the CCTV footage of Utumishi Academy, and I felt very sad. I even struggled to sleep.
Now, that is the height of okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that learned things wrongly. But listening to Murukomen, what do you gather? What's the purpose of CCTV? I thought CCTV was to monitor what's going on in the school or in any organization, like in our church. We had a young man who was hired to monitor CCTV in the supermarket. And one of his responsibilities to keep an eye on the screen to ensure that everything that's going on, there is no shoplifting. And if there is any shoplifting, he raises the alarm on which corridor, what's happening, so that the person can be arrested. Shoplifting. And so you want to tell me that Utumishi girls had CCTV into the dormitories, okay? And 8 or 7 girls made moves, walked in the corridors and brought paraffin. And the Minister for Internal Security goes on national television to tell us what he has assessed in a recorded CCTV and not. Where was the security? What was the purpose of the CCTV? Was it to record the events that led to the fire, or is it meant to prevent people from being exposed to danger? Ndio mimi nashindwa na hii story yenu hii mnasema sasa. Something is wrong with this country. Let us accept it. Hakuna mtu anafanya kazi yake, haswa hao wafanyikazi wa serikali. So watoto wafungiwe kwa dormitory kwa sababu wata sneak out usiku. And then mwekewa CCTV ya kuchukua picha ya kutafuta wale walichoma wengine. Wakati hiyo CCTV, wakati kuchomeka kulikuwa kunaanza, where was the security of the school? I thought this supposed to be a preventive measure. So Murkomen anatuambia nini? Ajalala. Nani alimwambia sisi tunachangia usingizi wake? Let's wake up as a people. We are losing it. We are losing this country. We are losing a grip on where this country is headed to, listening to people like Murkomen. Kuna mambo mengine afadhali unyamaze kuliko kusema. Afadhali unyamaze. Wacha tu watu wale wanahusika na hiyo maneno ya uchunguzi wachukuzi. Don't call a press conference to tell us that you are doing forensic analysis of the CCTV. Forensic analysis for what? If the CCTV did not prevent the fire, we don't want to hear. Let's find out what is going on with our schools. CCTV ilikuwa na Ndarasha. You remember the Hill School in Nyeri? Footage hiyo Murkomen uja-analyze, utuambie CCTV nayo inawasemaje. Watu wangu, inji inahitaji kutibiwa. Na hiyo tiba haiwezi kuwa vile tunavyoenenda ati tunaelewa. We should have heads rolling right now. The entirety of the Ministry of Education should be on fire right now. Sio hii mchezo kuja kuambia watu umeona CCTV. CCTV unaenda kuiangalia wakati maafa yamefanyika. Then unakuja kutuambia eti umeona watoto wakichoma wengine. What happened to prevention is better than cure? Na serikali ilikuwa na mkono mrefu. Sasa hii mkono imejikunja. Na Utumishi Academy sio shule ya kawaida. Shule ya military. Hiyo ndio mnataka kutuambia mlikuwa pia huko na CCTV, na hiyo CCTV ikanasa watu wakimaliza kama wamemaliza kuchoma. Oh, sawa. Thank you. Yes, who is this? The chosen. Yes, niko YouTube. Look for Sound Candy Talk Live. Sound Candy Talk Live. Utatupata YouTube. Thank you so much. Asante sana. YouTube tunaitwa Sound Candy Talk Live. Sound Candy Talk kwa Facebook. Sound Candy Talk kwa TikTok. Asanteni sana. Naomba tumakinike kukaribishana, kuchambua, lakini haya mambo yanaudhi sana. Kama vile nimesema, kuna mambo afadhali uyameze bila kuyasema. Yes. Kama una kitu cha kuambia watu, usifungue mdomo wako kuzungumza. Haswa kama wewe ndio unapaswa kulinda Wakenya. Internal Security Minister anatuambia ataliona watoto wamebeba jerikani kwa CCTV. And then he has disbanded. The Minister of Education now comes and says he has disbanded the board of management of the school. Undumani, karibu, hali vipi?
Salama Bernard.
Watu hapa wanataka kuniua.
Nimekuwa safari, sijafuatilia sana maneno ya shule kuchomeka na maneno ya Ebola, lakini maneno ya Ebola tunasikia tu Bernard. Hii maneno ya Ebola kwa sababu wale waliosoma ni wasomaji, hata afadhali wajinga. Wewe unawezaje kutoa magonjwa kutoka nchi nyingine ukalete nchi nyingine? Na tunapata rais kama Yoweri Museveni, dikteta yule amefunga mipaka ili Ebola isiingie Uganda. Tanzania umefunga Ebola isiingie Uganda. Sasa hii Kenya watu wako na tamaa ina gani? Tamaa hii Bernard. Na watu wanasema ni uokofu. Biblia inasema kwanza tafuta ufalme wa mbinguni kwanza, na vingine vinyewe vitakufuata. Hapana utafute wewe mwenyewe, utafute, wache Kristo mwenyewe akutafutie. Tafuta kwanza ya mbinguni kwanza, na hii vingine yote itakufuata Bernard. Sasa ndio hiyo affordable housing, biashara ndio hiyo inaingia madola usiku na mchana, utosheki na hiyo. Barabara ndio hiyo, unalipisha barabara, utosheki na hiyo. Ndio hiyo sijui nini, utosheki na hiyo. Sasa umekuja kununulia Wakenya ugonjwa. Hii pesa hii Bernard itawasaidia mpaka lini Bernard? Hii pesa hii. Kwanza mimi naomba tu ya kwamba Bernard, hii Ebola ianze kushambulia watoto yao kwanza. Ianze kugusa watoto yao kwanza Bernard, diguse wa umaskini. Kwa sababu mtu huwezi kuleta magonjwa hapa Kenya, alafu wewe uko tu free tu kukula pesa Bernard ya Ebola Bernard. Mimi nashindwa hii viongozi wetu wamepungukiwa akili ndio hakuna. Hii nchi wakujitayarisha kutawala Kenya Bernard. That's why Moi alikuwa anasema hapa sioni kiongozi. Kiongozi hapa hakuna. Naona tu kiongozi Uhuru Kenyatta peke yake. Lakini hii viongozi yote, hata Odinga alikuwa ndani, hata Ruto alikuwa ndani. Nani alikuwa ndani wakati ya Moi akisema hapa sioni kiongozi? Kiongozi peke yake ni Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta. Lakini wengine Bernard hakuna Bernard. Pole Bernard, nilikuwa nafungulia mgeni mlango. Pole. Sasa ni hiyo tu upande ya
sawa.
Hiyo ni upande ya Ebola tu ndio naweza kuongea Bernard. Viongozi hatuna Kenya. Hii wakati hii na Bernard tupeleke hii viongozi yote ile tunaitanga ati 2 term. 2 term akiwa governor, akiwa mbunge, akiwa MCA, wote ni pumbafu wote, waende nyumbani. Kenya haiwezi kutawaliwa, watu wajinga hawezi kutawala Kenya Bernard. Kutoka hiyo watu ya 2 term. 2 term yote wakwende nyumbani. 2 term wote wakwende nyumbani Bernard. Kwa sababu hakuna kitu ile 2 term itatuletea sisi Bernard, bali itatuletea sisi Ebola. Kwa sababu vile rais yao anafikiria Ebola, ndio governor anafikiria Ebola, mbunge anafikiria Ebola, MCA anafikiria Ebola. So hii watu yote Bernard wakwende nyumbani. Wataua sisi na magonjwa. Na kabla hii magonjwa ijaua sisi, Mungu awanze kuwashughulikia mapema kabla ya Ebola ijaingia Bernard. Waanze kushughulikiwa mapema Bernard. Kwa sababu tunaona hawa wanashughulikia Wakenya mapema, wakufe mapema. Sasa that's why waseme ya kwamba tuko na ugonjwa ya Ebola lockdown. Hatutakubali hiyo lockdown kufungiwa kama kuku ya grade kwa nyumba Bernard. Hatutakubali sisi ati lockdown. Kama unafikiri utafanyia sisi lockdown, hiyo lockdown hakuna Bernard. Tutapambana nao kama ni hiyo Ebola iwe sisi wote Bernard. Lakini kufungiwa kwa nyumba kama kuku ya grade, hiyo sisi hatutaweza Bernard. Vitu ya kupimiwa masaa ya kutembea Bernard, sisi hatutaweza. Kama rais anafikiria atapimia sisi masaa ya kutembea na masaa ya kufungia sisi kwa nyumba, hiyo itawezekana Bernard. Hiyo itawezekana. Wafungie familia zao kwa nyumba. Lakini sisi hakuna Bernard. Mtu asilete Ebola akifikiria katalete lockdown hapa. Lockdown hakuna Bernard. Na kama sasa hawa hii serikali ingekuwa wakati ya COVID-19, si tungekufa? Hii serikali ya 2 term ingekuwa wakati ya COVID-19. Hati hao ndio wako katika madaraka. Tungekufa Bernard. Lakini tunaomba Mungu wakati hii Ebola ikuwa inaingia pa Kenya, Mungu akuwe na washughulikia moja kwa moja. Wasikufe Ebola, wakufe tu magonjwa mengine kabla ya Ebola bado. Wakufe tu magonjwa mengine kabla ya Ebola. Kwa sababu sisi tukiwa wasima tutafukuza hii Ebola, aidha irudi Amerika, au iende DRC Congo. Nyayo tu Bernard.
Asante sana Undumani. Hapa kuna Margaret Achola anasema this is distraction to pass finance bill. Na umezungumza kuhusu story ya lockdown. Unaona hii labda ni njia moja ya kuona kwamba vile Wakenya wamekasirika na finance bill ya 2026 na June ndio hii inaanza. So hii imeletwa ili watu wasitoke kwa street kwenda kusema kwamba reject the finance bill 2026 ndio ipite bila matatizo. Could it be a political move kama vile Margaret anasema, ama ni kupatikana tu tumepatikana?
Naunga Margaret mkono kwa sababu yeye ni mbinu ya serikali. Na serikali wajue hawa si waakili sana. Sisi ndio tuliowapa hiyo kazi. Mtu akipatia we kazi ya kufanya, huyo mtu mwenye alikupatia kazi, huyo ndio mwakili kuliko wewe. Kwa sababu huyo mtu hujamwandika, yeye ndiye amekuandika kazi. Na vile amekuandika kazi unataka kukuwa mjanja zaidi kwa yule alikuandika kazi, Bernard, hii itawezekana. Hii itawezekana. Wajue ya kwamba Wakenya wamekasirika ya kutosha. Wanangoje tu kitu kidogo itrige tu kitu kidogo hivi. Hiyo maofisi yao wataka.
Sabahani Undumani, labda mitambo yake imeleta kizaazaa, lakini ningependa tuangalie hilo swala kwa kina. Hii masuala ya kuleta hoja mbadala ili kutoa mawazo na maswali ya Wakenya kuhusu vile mambo yalivyo. Na this is an important observation. The William Ruto administration is very desperate at the moment. And in their desperations, they are trying to use everything in their playbook to maneuver. And that's one place of the William Ruto administration that is very, very clear, okay? That they are desperate, number one, and number two, they are doing anything in their book to secure for themselves a second term in office, and they want to do it through hook or crook. And that is not good for the country. That's not good for the future. That's not good for where we are supposed to be as a people. And so I believe we need more than ever to resist this way of operating. We need to have a secure country that is run by the law and run by respect for the Constitution. Not this aspect of pursuing a narrative and creating narratives and looking for shortcuts to get this done and that done outside the law or away around the law. No. The law enforcers, the government that has sworn to protect and defend the Constitution, should be the one delighted in operating within the framework of the Constitution. Not look on how do we pass this finance bill without public participation. How do we make this finance bill pass without, being stopped or being questioned? Why should we have a government that want to steal from its people? And then that same government is the one claiming to be arresting those who are stealing. This is a paradox. I believe we need to wake up. Let's wake up from our sleep and get our act together as a people. Our country needs to be fixed. And for it to be fixed, Kenyans need to speak with one voice. Let's not justify these strange moves that are being, we're being invited into. These strange operations that we are being invited into, where we are treated to some kind of circus when the country desperately needs responsible leadership. We are treated to a circus of endless, stories and excuses. And now there are those people who are now, committed into now preaching hatred against particular communities. Hate this community. We cannot work with this community. We cannot work with Wamunyoro. We will not work. I mean, what is it, by the way? What's the difference between Wamunyoro and William Ruto? From the last time I checked, Wamunyoro was William Ruto's deputy. They ran on the same ticket, on the same values. So if you tell me that you cannot work with Wamunyoro, but you can work with Ruto, something is wrong with you. Very wrong. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the support. Like the video, tafadhali, tuendelee kushare. And of course, I'm sharing these videos courtesy of the producers. And then, of course, these young minds and how they are thinking and looking at what's going on in our country and voicing it out. This is a young man by the name, I think is Derek, yeah. And he's an aspirant member of parliament for Makadara constituency in Nairobi. And he's been consistent from the 2024 finance bill to date in terms of sharing data and information that has been very instrumental in informing Kenyans. Let's just hear him out and then, of course, share what we think about what he is saying. I really want to salute those of you that are joining the conversation. Kuna wale wanatafuta YouTube, tunapatikana YouTube, tunapatikana Facebook, and then of course TikTok. Asanteni sana. Wacha tumsikilize Derek alafu turejee kuchambua kiki ambacho kinachoendelea. Asante.
The past fortnight, vitu mob zimekuwa zikifanyika in a very quick succession, and I'm here to update you. Before tuanze, kumbuka that in this country, nothing, and I mean nothing, is a coincidence. Earlier this week, 16 girls lost their lives in Utumishi Girls Senior School's dormitories pale Gilgil. May their souls never rest in peace until true justice is served to them. A serious conversation about the safety of our children in this country is long overdue. And in all this, I smell propaganda perfectly blended with cover-up stories. Regardless, time will tell. Jiulize, why was the Ndarasha incident swept under the rug? And speaking about sweeping under the rug, harsh truth is that both you and I have a hand in this, because why didn't we show enough concern by then? Why do Kenyans always have a strange tendency of taking things casually? Ama unangoje kuwe mtu wako ndo uamini siku zuri. Kumbuka kuna siku utaipanda mahindi uvune maragwe. Hakuna venye utaenable incompetent leaders kukuongoza, then we expect suddenly to wake up to positive news every morning. Half a year ago, niliposti video nikiwhistleblow this 5-year health deal agreement that was made by our regime in collaboration with the United States. Coincidentally, earlier this week, Trump orders his military to set up an Ebola quarantine facility in Kenya within a week. Now, ukitaka kujua people holding very powerful positions are pulling strings to make this happen, listen to the turn of events. Last Thursday, LSK filed a constitutional petition blocking the Kenyan government from establishing this facility. The High Court then issued a temporary conservatory order suspending the establishment. Why temporary? Now, less than 48 hours ago, video reports surfaced that a mysterious cargo plane allegedly belonging to the US landed in Laikipia, with the video clearly showing the plane landing next to a what? Construction site. Repeated statements from Marco Rubio clearly stated that priority US is to protect its citizens, and they will do everything in their power to make sure Ebola ijakanyaga US. Jiulize, tangu lini maisha ya mlami ilikujeka kuwa more important than maisha ya Mkenya? And why do our puppet leaders think that every $1 million deal in this country must be welcomed? Bottom line is, if we don't change the status quo remains. Kanga ukijoe MP wa mtaa yako ndo kupeananga daily kasadaka. As I speak, hatuna enough united aspirants to vie for these political positions. Na uko hapo unajidanganya ati Ruto must go, juko kadi. Man, then you must be one very interesting person. Majority of our influential voices are currently dining with the oppressor, either directly or indirectly. Na wanajifanya ignorant on purpose so that they cannot create real awareness on what is really happening in our country. Nyijueni to time will surely expose you. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. Kenya never earned independence. Until we address this, us and our future generations will simply live our lives being hypocrites, apart from obviously being IMF sole employees. We Mkenya, usidistractiwe na riba za jaba. Keep your eyes on your land and minerals kama Jacob Juma. Repost TV da, the goal is to educate all Kenyans. The past fortnight, vitu mob.
Okay, there you have it. That is the Gen Z member of parliament aspirant for Makadara constituency. And we prayed people of Makadara. By the way, I'm a Makadara voter. And so I would vote in brains like those ones, not what we are having. The people who are selling us at no price. But what he raises there, it is clear that what the Ruto administration is determined to do, they would do it regardless of what the courts say or regardless of what Kenyans say. That is very sad. And then, of course, it raises up that issue of Tumishi Girls Academy and the fires, and then in the Russia, wherever case. And of course, turns the blame on us as Kenyans that we are letting the government get away with those negligence and those excesses by not following up matters to their conclusion. I agree with him. We are very poor in following up matters to their conclusion. We only get, psyched up, get excited, do some kicks here and thereafter we go back to life as usual. That's not how we are supposed to operate. Responsible people, responsible citizens, we must follow through, especially when a matter involves government. And so, in my opinion, where I sit, what Murkomen said is nothing. It's nothing as far as that fire issue is concerned. Dismissing of the board of governors of the school has nothing to do with how fire got into a dormitory and our girls were burned. It's not board of governors. The school administration, and beside that, the security. Murkomen to come and tell us he was looking at the CCTV, it's news. So the school had CCTV and there was nobody monitoring the movements of people at night on the CCTV. Hii ndio gani? Supermarket wameajiri watu wa CCTV. They work, I think, is it 4 hours or 6 hours? They change shifts to monitor their products not to be picked without being paid. Lakini nyinyi mko na CCTV mmeweka mpaka kwa dormitory ya kukuja kuambia nani aliwasha moto, nani alionekana akipita. Hiyo ndio kusudi ya CCTV. Something is wrong with this country and we must get to the bottom of it. And the William Ruto is exposing this country to too much danger than we can tolerate. And so let's listen carefully to what Kenyans are saying and adjust appropriately. What we are being treated to is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. And so hili swala la Trump na treaties. Kwangu mimi, any treaty that is not signed in the interest of Kenyans should be thrown through the window. All of them. And that goes back to pre-colonial. Kuna mashamba mengi sana hapa ambayo ingekuwa ikitumika vizuri, Wakenya wangekuwa wanalala njaa na chakula ingekuwa expensive kwa nchi hii, lakini ati kuna katriti sijui kalisainiwa sijui na mama na Queen Elizabeth sijui wakakubaliana sijui nini sijui Lake Victoria sijui isifanywe nini irrigation sijui all those funny treaties and agreements that we keep renewing and we live in honor of them as if they are Bible. We need to fix this country. To fix this country, we must put the interests of the Kenyan people above everything else. And that means any treaty that has been signed that doesn't put the interests of Kenyans first, that treaty must be reviewed. And if it's not serving Kenyans, let it be scrapped off. Hata kama kuna bill, afadhali tulipe hiyo bill na tutoke katika hiyo minyororo kuliko kukaa vile tumekaa. Ati sisi tunasema Mungu nguvu yetu, tuna raise flag yetu tukisema we are free country. In a few hours we'll be getting into Madaraka Day celebration. We celebrate Madaraka gani kama Trump anaweza kaa America, Washington DC, a command army yake ikuje hapa Kenya kuweka quarantine ya Ebola. Si tustukie tu gazeti inasema. Na bado tuko sovereign. Hii sovereign yetu inahitaji hii si sovereign, hii ni mchezo. So let's wake up and do the right thing, and that is refuse anything and everything that does not serve Kenyans. We need to have a bill. Members of parliament, we need to come up with scrutiny. We need to scrutinize all these treaties and all these agreements. Its surprises are becoming too much. We can't be a free country when we are being controlled from left, right, and center. That so and so signed, Uhuru signed, Kibaki signed, Jomo Kenyatta signed, Moi signed. We need to get audit of all these treaties and look at them. Which one is for Kenya? Which one is against Kenya? Which one is serving Kenyans? Which one is not serving Kenyans? Then through these treaties that are being used as excuses to loot and control Kenya, we need to have a serious audit of each one of them. Just like there's a demand for the audit of the debt for this country, we need also to review these treaties. Because there are a lot of things that are working against Kenyans, and all of it is in the name that it was signed. It was signed. It was agreed. It was signed. And this signing did not involve Kenyans. Lands upon lands were signed in favor of the UK colonial masters. Those lands are still affected today. Even Moi alikuwa amepeleka now from 99 years to 1,000 years. A review must be done. Audit has to be done. And then, of course, Kenyans should participate into the same. And so, wabunge wote ambao mnanisikiliza, wakati umefika tuone mkifanya kitu ambacho kinaguza wa Kenya papa hapa. Tuache hii story ya kufanya nini? Ya kukaa kana kwamba sisi ni watumwa milele na chochote kile ambacho foreigners wameamua hicho ndicho kitatendeka Kenya. Hakuna haja basi tuitwe Kenya, watuite tu a colony of the United States of America, or the others Kenya state to be added to Georgia and the other states, so ijulikane kwamba president ni Trump na sisi ni wa America. Kwa sababu decisions cannot be done about Kenya against Kenyans without us. There's nothing for us without us. And so, Kenyans of goodwill, let's be set. If this court order that is being listened to on Tuesday, if it doesn't put this thing to halt, lock out the people exposed to Ebola out of this country, then let Kenyans take the law in their own hands. Let us do what we must do to protect this country. If William Ruto and his administration cannot take care of us, let's take care of us ourselves. Yes, let's take care of us ourselves. Let's guard and protect our borders by ourselves. Protect the communities that are around the borders. Kama mbaya, ikuwe mbaya tu. Kwa sababu huu ni mchezo. Watoto umelea mtoto, umelipa school fees, umefanya nini, mtoto anaenda shule, umemfikisha shule, umehand over kwa administration ya shule, unajua compound iko sawa, iko na fence na kila kitu, mtoto ako salama. Then the most sacred and safe place that the child should be, that's the place where the child is banned. Then the minister concerned comes to tell you he has disbanded the board of governors. He has watched the CCTV and they can't sleep. Kuna vitu zingine ambazo hazifai kusemwa, hazifai kusikizwa. Kuna mtu anapaswa kumwelewa Murkomen William Ruto na huyu anaitwa nani? Minister wa Education. Hawa watu wote wanaweza kupikiwa kwa chungu moja, wawekwe ndani ya motizo moja, wagongwe kama yam. You can't expose to Kenyans to danger and then turn around and begin to talk as if wewe ndio nani, kama umezaliwa jana. No. And there must be an overhaul. There are those proposing that they do away with boarding school. The problem is not boarding school. The problem is the entire education management. Nobody is taking interest of the livelihood of Kenyans anymore. Watu wameona tu kazi ni kupata nafasi ya kukula mshahara na kujitajirisha. Mpaka masomo sasa sio priority. So watoto wanajitegemea wakiwa shuleni. Watoto wako kivyao wakiwa shuleni. Hakuna mtu responsible anaangalia masuala yao. Alafu unajiita mwalimu, unajiita principal, unataka kulipwa mshahara wa principal na deputy principal na hiyo mambo mengine yote. Hii ujinga tu ndio inaendelea. So hata wakue boarding ama day school, they are in danger because the people handling them are irresponsible and incompetent. They have no sense of responsibility. Let's get our country back. Let's fight to get our country back. I miss the days when education was education. When going to school was something to be proud of. And being in school, you knew you were in school. From the teachers, from the subordinate staff, everybody in the school compound understood this is a school environment and education is given a priority. So everybody was working out to enhance and secure the progress of the students, including the subordinate staff. Halafu unakuja hapo kutuambia ati umeona CCTV. Let's wake up as Kenyans. Let's recover this country. Tutoe hii nchi kwa mikono ya uongozi mbaya kama huu. There's nothing to be tolerated or understood about this situation. And these fires are going to multiply if we don't do anything drastic. Wengine wataamka asubuhi sasa waanza kusema hata kwa wakati wa Moi kulikuwa na sijui wapi kulikuwa na moto, sijui Bombolulu kulikuwa na moto, hata wakati wa Kibaki tulikuwa na moto. Kwa hivyo tunazungumza kwa moto kwa nini? Ni kumchukia William Ruto. Kwani lazima tumpende William Ruto? Wewe utuingize tu kwa shimo kwa sababu Moi alituingiza ama Kibaki alituingiza. So kukua urais ni kuingiza watu kwa shimo, kuchomea watu watoto wao. Let's be responsible. Hiyo story ya kunaambia hata kwa Moi kulifanyika ama kwa Kibaki kulifanyika, hiyo pelekea watoto wako huko. Ukichukua jukumu la kuongoza nchi, ongoza nchi ipasavyo. Ukipewa jukumu la kuongoza wanafunzi ama kulinda wanafunzi, linda wanafunzi wakiwa shule. Hiyo principle wa kutembea hapa na kifua and you are not managing the school. Why should you be called a principal in the first place? What is being a principal? Uko na CCTV na kuna mtu ana monitor CCTV. You use it for forensic audit. You are looking for the killers of the girls. Kuna kitu kinaudhi kama hicho. So Murkomen na genge lake, kama kazi imekushinda, jiuzulu. That is it. Sio lazima ukue CS wa interior. Ogambo sijui Ogamba. Resign. 16 lives. Just like that. And then you wanted to pass. Just like a wheel, some smoke has passed. Hapana. Wakenya? Okay, tuache mchezo. Tuache mchezo kabisa. Let's secure our country. Let's recover our country. Let's reject bad leadership. And the incompetence of the William Ruto and team administration should not be tolerated. The excuse that even Uhuru, even Jomo Kenyatta, even Kibaki, hiyo story isisikizwe na mtu yeyote. Uongozi lazima uwe wa kujali na kulinda maslahi ya wengi wa Wakenya. Sio wachache wa Wakenya, wengi wa Wakenya. Haswa the young people. Our schools need to be the safest place to be. Let the children be unsafe on the road. Let them be unsafe between their home and their school. But not while they are in school. Not while they are in school. And so let's wake up. Let's do the right thing. Well, thank you so much for being part of the conversation. I appreciate those who are liking the video and sharing it, widely. Please, let's keep doing so. We're about to land. We started earlier today, and Undumani ni kama amefungiwa. Undumani yuko kwa border ya Busia na Kenya. So kama umekuwa Busia, unajua kuna ile itilafu ya mitambo ya simu haswa kati ya airways za Uganda na za Kenya. So hapo kunakuwa na mshikili kiasi tu. Lakini tunashukuru kwa hiyo nafasi ya kutusaidia katika mahojiano haya na kuchangia katika kupeana mwelekeo. Ningependa kuanza kutamatisha na video hii ambayo mimi sijui kama mimi ndio sielewi ama sishiki, lakini kuna mambo ambayo yakisemwa mimi nashindwa kuyaelewa. Mtanisaidia hapa, ninyi ndio wasomi. Labda ni sababu mimi sio daktari. God have mercy on me. So kuna huyu daktari hapa anasema ya kwake. Okay, let's see how it plays out. All right. In the meantime, tuendelee kulike video tafadhali. Tuhakikishe kwamba kila kitu kinakwenda kulingana na mahesabu. So we'll take a short break as we prepare that video and then play it out. And then from there, we'll be able to understand what should be done. Let's hear this young man.
So, what if in 2027 the government somehow forces me to shut down the people's IEBC? You know, this is very much possible, but we have found a way to address that. But before I tell you how we are doing it, in case you're not aware, the people's IEBC is a system that will ensure no one rigs the 2027 election. We have created a platform where any Kenyan can upload the Form 34As here, and then we analyze these uploads with our image processing AI models, and then we fill that information in these database. We have also added verification that does these 4 main checks to ensure what was uploaded is a true reflection of what happened at the polling station. And finally, we tally and display the results publicly here in these websites. Now, the people's IEBC needs to be set up in a way it can function without me and my laptop, because as it is currently, with me controlling and facilitating everything, it has what we call a single point of failure. And so to address this, we are creating something called a network of independent nodes. In simple terms, we will be having people all over the world whose laptops will be doing the verification and relaying these results to the website. So for example, when one of our agents uploads this Form 34A, you can see Madaraka has 650 votes and Kalonzo has 20 votes and the rest. And by the way, if you have not registered as a People's IEBC agent who will be sending us these Form 34As, go to peoplesiebc.org and register. Anyway, these uploads are then distributed to all our node operators. Their systems do the verification, and once the results have been verified, they are updated to the blockchain, and this information is now relayed to the website for everyone to see. That way, even without me and my laptop, the tallying and the verification can still happen. And that's it. Anyway, in case you want to learn how to build such automated systems, I teach beginners how to build such AI automations and agents in my 6-day program that runs every month. So if you're interested, go to mataharidigital.com and register. It's only 2,999 Kenya shillings. So, what if in 2027 the government somehow forces me to shut down the people's IEBC? You know, this is very much possible, but we have found a way to address that. But before I tell you how we are doing it, in case you're not aware, the people's IEBC is a system that will ensure no one rigs the 2027 election. We have created a platform where any Kenyan can upload the Form 34As here, and then we analyze these uploads with our image processing AI models, and then we fill that information in these database. We have also added verification that does these 4 main checks to ensure what was uploaded.
Well, that is uploadable reality. The young man there talking about securing the elections and ensuring that we'll have the president we have voted for, not the president the people who counted the votes decided. That's a very positive and progressive approach towards the elections. And the simple system like that, to me, is the way to go. And of course, you see the way the IEBC is running into panic in response to such by coming up with the unrealistic laws that they will look for how to forbid people from taking pictures of their vote and how they have voted. That's unnecessary. That's unnecessary. If the presiding officer is supposed to snap the Form 34A and send it to the tallying center by snapping, that law has already allowed snapping. So you cannot deny that the voter does not snap, but the presiding officer can snap. Then you are coming up with 2 sets of laws. And so IEBC should just set their house in order and prepare to conduct an election that is credible, an election that is reliable. If they don't, then the people's IEBC is going to give us the president. Yes, the people's IEBC is going to give us governors, it's going to give us members of parliament. The riggers, those who have forgot the people, they are busy taking care of their stomachs and, of course, babysitting the William Ruto administration with all their lapses and negligence, and thinking that by associating with William Ruto, they are going to be re-elected. We will have a parliament we have elected. We will have governors we have elected. We will have senators we have elected. We will have members of county assembly that we have elected. This other one cooked and wale ambao Raila Odinga alikuwa anasema baba alikuwa anasema vifaranga vya kompyuta. Mwisho wa vifaranga vya kompyuta umefika. So haitakuwa eti IBC peke yake ndio inaweza kujua nani alishinda na nani hakushinda kura. Wakati umefika kukuwe na rais ambaye tumechagua kama Wakenya, na nchi iongozwe na wale ambao tumepatia mamlaka ya kutuongoza, si wale wamenyakua na wale ambao wanakwenda kutuibia. Well, nilisema kwa hii nitaanza kufungasha. Tumsikilize huyu ambaye ni Rais Ruto akizungumza hapa. Mnisikilizia hapa alafu mnielewe.
We were at the prayer breakfast yesterday in Safari Park. As I went to Safari Park, you could clearly see that the road from Nairobi to Safari Park on the side coming to Nairobi was full. You know? So we need to do an expressway on top of Thika Road. And I am going to start it in October this year. Mnanisikia? Yes. I'm a very serious guy. Mnacheza. Yes. Hii nchi hii tutaisumbua mpaka ikue straight. Yes, we must do it. We must keep doing what we must do to change this country. Sio kama tunaelewana. So we still have so many highways. If you go on the road to Mau Summit, you know, that road to Mau Summit, people are talking about it in Malaba. People are talking about it in Kisumu. Because those people in Kisumu, whenever they come to Nairobi, they come and sleep somewhere here on the road. Unanielewa? So we still need to extend that road from Mau Summit to Malaba, another one to Kericho, Kisii, Kisumu. We need to do the road to Meru. If you go to Meru, you will find huge jam along the way. There is still quite a bit of, in my estimation, about 2,500, 2,800 kilometers of dualing of different roads for us to have the highways that you see in Europe and America that makes them a working economy.
Huyo ni William Ruto, rais wa Kenya. No, mtanisamehe lakini no, this is how government works in my understanding. Okay? Hakuna project ambayo inaweza kuanzishwa bila kuwekwa kwa budget. Na hiyo budget inapitishwa na parliament. William Ruto alikuwa anaenda Safari Park kwa prayer breakfast. Wakati anaelekea kwa prayer breakfast, akaona kuna jam inside ya nini? Ya wale watu wanakuja town asubuhi na mapema. Unajua prayer breakfast inaanza mapema. So akashtuka, kumbe hii barabara ina magari mingi. So akaamua, you will forgive me please. So kwa hiyo prayer breakfast akaamua kwamba anaweka nini, expressway juu ya Thika highway, super highway, and then ataanza hiyo Oktoba. na kuna mambo mengine ambayo ni ngumu kuyazungumzia, kwa sababu William Ruto sio mgeni kwa serikali, na si eti hajui kwamba hakuna project ambayo itaanzishwa kwa kusema. So kama aligundua kwamba Thika Highway inahitaji expressway on top, akienda prayer breakfast, I'm just using his words, okay? Then anawaambia wale watu wa prayer breakfast kwamba itakuwa nini, anaanza hiyo Oktoba, na saa hii tumefunga 2026 2027 budget. Tunangoja tu kupitisha. So hii super highway itawekwa kwa budget saa ngapi ndio ianzishwe hii Oktoba? Utanieleza? Well, I think we are dealing with an administration that is not serious. And it delights into being in the news and circulating by those outrageous claims. I don't want to say what should not be said, but in my opinion, it's a very sad day in Kenya. A very sad day in Kenya indeed, and I never thought that we'll ever come to such. Government was honorable when we were growing up as small boys, and being a leader of the country was something of great, dignity and respect. But we have reduced it to a circus. We have reduced it to comedy. We have reduced it to anything can be said, anything can be done. No. Public office needs to be held in high esteem. Not this kind of treatment. So, wacha tungoje. Oktoba haiko mbali. June imeanza. Happy Madaraka Day. So it's June, July, August, September, October. Hatuko mbali. Tutakwenda na kamera wapi? Tuone hiyo super highway, expressway imeanza ama haijaanza. October. Kwangu mimi, this country needs an overhaul. From the north to the south, from the east to the west. We need a new system of operation. We need a new system of running the affairs of this country. We should remove the colonial system that works in the interest of the foreigners and gives second place to the indigenous, the Kenyan people, and turn that upside down. The interests of the Kenyan people must come first before anyone else. Whoever wants to do business in Kenya must do business in the interest of the Kenyan people. If it's not doing it in the interest of the Kenyan people, afungashe vitu zake aende kula alikotoka. Uongozi ambao unafaa ni ule ambao utalinda maslahi ya wengi wa Wakenya. Sio uongozi wa kuuza Wakenya kwa sababu umeona hela. So wakati umefika, Wakenya tufanye uamuzi ambao ni bora. Uko na opportunity. Na ndiposa wale ambao walitengeneza katiba walikupatia ile nafasi ya kwamba watu hawa wapatie miaka 5. Hata katika hiyo miaka 5 kama wafanyi kazi waitwe. There is recalling clause in the constitution. So hakuna ile maneno ya 2 term, 1 term. Even that 1 term can be interrupted. The constitution gives us that right and that power. So hakuna kuvumilia ati rais ni mbaya lakini tuvumilie tu amalize miaka yake 10. Hakuna kumaliza miaka ya mtu 10. Kuna miaka 5 na baada ya miaka 5 kama hujafanya kazi vizuri unaonyeshwa mlango. Hivyo ndivyo ilivyo. So don't allow yourself to be sucked into the debate of 1 term, 2 term. let's look critically. Is Kenya better off with William Ruto? Is Kenya better off with who? Are the livelihood of Kenyans better off now with this kind of policies, roadside declarations, going for prayer breakfast, and now you see the need for expressway? And then instead of deploying machineries and putting up policies and following the due process of ensuring that whatever expressway you have seen can be done by getting the parliament, getting the experts involved, the engineers, and the involved people to give you feasibility study. How much will it cost? How long will it take to be built? And all that. You don't have any of that. Then you say you will start in October. Well, asanteni sana, naomba nisikasirike, lakini nashukuru wote ambao mmechangia kipindi hiki kwa njia moja au nyingine. Tunakuomba tu tafadhali samahani. Where are we? I think my camera is gone off. Sorry about that, and I was signing out. So please, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. I look forward to meeting you. Please, there is a new development. We are starting out some podcasts, and we are working in collaboration with RCM Studios, and therefore we have now 2 centers of operations. Our usual studios, this is the place we'll be doing the night shows, but daytime shows will be done from the RCM studios from the CBD. And then, of course, we have a slot for those who are aspirants. If you want to talk to your constituency, you need to get in touch with me using that number. Those of you following me on TikTok, there's a number right here. 0718454585. You contact me and suggest your member of parliament, your aspirant member of parliament, your aspirant member of county assembly, governor, president. I need all those people to ask them right questions because we need right leadership. And so kama una aspirant ambayo ungependa hojiwe, suggest na ama unicontact na namba yake, tutampanga. And then tutakuwa na mahojiano from our city center studios, RCM studios. And please, let's make every effort to have a better Kenya by reason of getting better leadership. Otherwise, thank you so much for always choosing Sound Country Talk. And tuendelee kusupport na kushare video widely. Get more people to learn from what we are saying here, which I believe is necessary and very enlightening. Asanteni sana, tukutane tutakapokutana katika masafa tofauti. Happy Madaraka Day. Keep safe, please. Don't endanger anybody's life and don't put your own life in danger. God bless you.